The following is a presentation of WCMP Sports, local sports.
Past the 25, to the 20, to the 15, he's going to high step into the end zone, touchdown!
Here, wide receivers split each side.
He's still going into the end zone.
East Central Minnesota, WC action starts now. To bring you the call, here's Ethan Game Day Gilman.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hinckley, Minnesota, where we're getting ready for this Great River softball game between the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars and the Aitkin Gobblers here. Beautiful Flagstead Field in Hinckley, Minnesota. Just adjacent to us is I-35. It is a beautiful view. You got that school in the background. You got a little bit of woods. You've got the tower out there as well. Got some cars going by, and we are in for a good matchup here today. This softball game being played a little bit earlier in the afternoon, more of a matinee game, if you will, but this still should be a fantastic game, and I'm excited to be out here to broadcast this one for you live. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman on WCMP, Anthem Country 106.5 FM, AM 1350. Again, out here in Hinckley, Minnesota, we're set for a 1 p.m. first pitch here at Flagstead Field. But while we continue, we'll take a look at these two teams and how they got to where they're at right now in this season. Both of them play out of Section 7 AA and now in the Great River Conference. For those of you who may not be as aware as I am, as of course I am involved with the sports all over, so I do know it. But if you're wondering, how are they in the same conference? They didn't used to be in the same conference. You'd be correct. They were not always in the same conference. But just this past fall in 2024, actually it was the year prior when I found out about it, that they were going to be bringing in 3 new schools to the Great River Conference. And, well, I've talked with coaches, players, and fans alike, and I've only received good words from these 3 teams being added, and it has been, in my opinion, a benefit to the conference. But Aitkin, Crosby, Ironton, and Mora are the 3 new teams that have been added to the Great River Conference. And it was, well, part of the reason was Aitkin's and Crosby Ironton's conference was kind of dissolving, so they needed a new conference to go to. They didn't want to be independent. They wanted to be competitive. They chose the Great River, and we're thankful that they did. And then Mora also moved out of the Granite Ridge Conference. That just kind of felt right for Mora to hop on over to the Great River Conference, and it has been great competition in all sports for the conference itself, and it is slid on over to the spring sports season. Aitkin right now, both softball and baseball-wise, are on top of the conference. We'll get to that in just a moment, but it has been nothing but good for the conference. We've seen it in the basketball season. Crosby Ironton for the girls was on top of the conference, but they had some good competition in Bram. Even Ogilvie was there. Pine City was fighting their way back. You know, you had a really, really good winter sports season, and now we see it in the spring sports season. But looking at this Aitkin team, they are 8-2 overall on the season, 5-2 in section play. They are the second team in Section 7 AA. They score over 9.5 runs per game and give up about 4 runs per game. They are a top 20 team in the QRF rankings in all of the state of Minnesota in Class 2A softball. Looking at how they got to that 8-2 record, well, it was a really good start. They didn't lose their first 5 games. They beat Rush City by a 2-1 score. Rush City was one of the teams that everybody was looking at this season and saying, all right, they're the team to look out for. They're the team to watch. It hasn't been the start that Rush City would have liked to have seen. They're still, believe it or not, they did graduate some seniors. They're still kind of leaning on the younger side of things this year. So next year, they're going to bring back a good chunk of players once again. But Aitkin did beat them 2-1. Then they beat Mora 12-8. Mora is a sleeper team. I'm telling you right now, Mora is a team that people are going to have to keep an eye on because they're having a pretty good start to the year. Then they beat Bram 8-3, which is kind of a interesting win. You get 2 close wins against Mora and Rush City. Then you go out and beat Bram, who might be one of the favorites in the conference, by 5 runs. Then they went out and stomped on Crosby Ironton 23-0, beat Pine City 13-3, then suffered their first loss to Greenway Nashwauk Keewatin. That was a 14-8 loss in Aitkin not too long ago. Meanwhile, Greenway Nashua Kewanee is only the number 4 ranked school in all of Class 2A softball. Their only loss came to Rockridge, who is one of the best teams in Class 3A. So Greenway Nashua Kewanee right now, one of the best teams in Class 2A softball. After that loss, they beat Mille Lacs 8-2 and Ogilvie 8-1. Ogilvie's another school that you might have to keep an eye out for. Then they lost to Esco, who is a 7AA school, and they're the 3rd-ranked team in 7AA. Their record doesn't necessarily show how good they are, but they are the 3rd team, the 3rd best team, I should say, in Section 7AA. So that was their only other loss on the season before beating Mora again, this time a little bit more lopsided, 13-2 in Mora. Now they're here in Hinckley-Finlayson looking to keep that ride alive. But looking at their conference play, out of the 10 games they played 8 conference games, and they've only racked up an 8-0 record in the conference. So a pretty good conference run so far, but it's not over. You got to beat Hinckley in Hinckley, and that's never easy to do. Then they will play East Central, Pine City, and Crosby Ironton once more. They do have a tournament coming up here this Saturday, looks like at Central Park Victoria Field, so they will be a part of that, but then they end the season with 3 conference games against East Central, Pine City, Crosby, Ironton, and then, believe it or not, we're going to be talking about playoffs. Playoffs? I know, playoffs. It doesn't seem real that we're already towards the end of the spring sports season, but we are, because a big reason why, we actually got to start somewhat on time. The spring sports season was kind this year. We got to start in April, and now we're closing in on the end of the season. We will have the first game of playoffs for Section 7AA May 20th. I know, it's weird to think about that. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to be into playoffs, so it is crazy. But then that is how Aitkin looks at this point at 8-2. I tell you what, we're going to look at Hinckley-Finlayson. We're first, though, going to get a word from our fine sponsors, because if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to out here and cover any of these games. So first, a word from our fine sponsors, and when we return, we'll look at how Hinckley-Finlayson has looked up to this point this season.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare, information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available. Go online to pine.edu for more information. Pine Technical and Community College, connect with success.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get our national anthem here, and then we'll get back to talk about the Jaguars this season.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Contact your local auto owners agency, Pine Insurance Agency, at pineagency.us today.
The mushroom melt is back at A&W. How does this sound? Sautéed seasoned mushrooms and onions with melted Swiss cheese on your choice of a juicy burger or grilled chicken. Then add golden French fries and a medium soft drink. It's the mushroom melt and fries combo at A&W. Now, top it off with a classic A&W root beer float featuring vanilla soft serve and made fresh root beer, all in a frosty mug. Or how about the A&W root beer freeze? Signature combos and delicious treats always at your local A&W restaurant in Pine City.
Embrace Orthodontics offers a unique specialized approach to orthodontic treatment with custom braces or Invisalign. The team at Embrace loves getting to know their patients personally and takes the time to make sure all your questions are answered. Their board-certified orthodontists use only the latest in modern technology to give you the best outcome possible. They work with your insurance company and offer flexible financing options to fit your budget. Call today to set up your free exam and see how Embrace Orthodontics can transform your smile. More online at embracemn.com. That's embracemn.com.
Back here on WCMP Anthem Country 106.5 FM, AM 1350. We'll take a look at the Jaguars this season. Taking a look at them, they are in 7AA. They are 4-7 overall, 1-4 in section play. They score 5 runs per game and give up about 6.5 per game. Taking a look at their 4 wins here this season. They beat Ogilvy 7-1, Mille Lacs 10-3, East Central 10-1, and Pine City 13-9. They're currently on a 3-game losing skid, though, where they lost to Greenway 7-0. And then their last 2 losses have been really close losses. Moose Lake Will River, one of the better teams in Section 7 Single A, they lost to only by 2 runs, 7-5. Then they lost to Ogilvy here just yesterday in Ogilvy, 6-5. So Jaguars looking to get off this little slide that they're on and get themselves back on the winning side of things as we take a look at the conference standings. Aitkin on top at 8-0, then Bram number 2, Rush City 3, Ogilvy 4, Mora 5, Hinckley-Finlayson in that 6th spot. A win today would do wonders for their conference standings. That pushed them probably into that 5 spot, maybe even jump Ogilvy for that 4 spot, but we'll have to wait and see how they play here today for Hinckley-Finlayson. I think you need to jump out on Aitkin early. Aitkin scores a lot of runs, so obviously pitching and defense is going to play a huge factor here today. Taking a look at how the Jags will line up. Pitching today in the circle is going to be number 28, Eris Ritchie, and catching for is number 14, Riley Scott. Then over at first is number 13, Annie Alleman, and at second it's number 15, Adam Panovich, and at third it's number 1, Natalie Staffney. At short it'll be number 31, Lainey Johnson. Then out in the field it will be in center, Nindy Jenkins. As the first pitch is swung on and missed by number 3, Ellie Hopp. And this one in there for strike 2, so a good start for the pitcher, Eris Ritchie. 0-2 on the way. Going to be low for ball 1. Count now moves 1-2 for Ritchie as she looks for a quick first out here to begin the game. This one is swung on and hit right back towards Ritchie. It's going to escape the infield and roll to center field. They'll get this ball in quickly, though, and it will only be a single for Ellie Hopp. And now stepping up to the plate is number 7, Sienna Mells, or number 7. She gets this one swung on right to the shortstop, throw to second for 1, throw on to first, not in time. So they will get the lead runner, and Mells is going to be safe via the fielder's choice. So 1 out. And now at the plate, a lefty. Looks at strike 1 right down the middle. This one is going to get by the catcher, Scott, and she's going to get to it, and the runner will stay at first, so Mel's not going to try and take a bag there. The 1-1 pitch on the way from Ritchie. The runner will go, and they're not going to attempt the throwdown. They'll just get it back to Ritchie. So she does take second on the steal. Meanwhile, this ball going to go high. That will even up the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ritchie readies, and here's the pitch. In the dirt for ball 3. Runner gets a decent lead there, but it has to go back to second. 1 down for the Gobblers. This one in there. Strike 1 to number 13, Kate Palm. That one inside for ball 1. That one's low again for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike for Kate Palm. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Ritchie. Swung on, and this one into foul territory, and it will be out of play. So that will even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ritchie looking for the payoff pitch. 2-2. It's swung on, and that is going to get down right in front of the left fielder. They're going to send the runner, and the throw not going to be in time. They're going to send the runner from second, and she is going to reach. And now, because of an error, Palm is going to have an inside the Parker. So a single that winds up turning into a 1, 2, 3 run scoring. So because of an error there, 3 runs are going to wind up scoring for the Gobblers, unfortunately. That makes it 3-0, still only 1 down. So now at the plate is number 10, Maddie Bergstaller. 1-1 count now for her. Into the right-handed batter's box. Ritchie with the windup and the pitch. That one swung on, fouled back out of play. That will make the count 1-2. Still only 1 down here for the Gobblers in the top of the first. Pitch from Ritchie on the way. It's going to roll to catcher for ball 2. That evens it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ritchie with the 2-2. Swing and a miss there by Bergstaller. And that is out number 2. 2 down here for the Gobblers, and now to the plate is number 19, Madeline Schneider. That went in there for ball 1. Ritchie readies, and here's the pitch. That one's low as well. It will bounce past the catcher Scott, and that'll make it a 2-0 count here for Madeline Schneider. Wearing that number 19. Gobblers in the red jerseys with the black shoulders, the black letters numbers outlined in the white, and the black pants with the red stripe. Here's the pitch from Ritchie. This one is popped up towards center field, and that's dangerous. It is going to get down. That is a tough one to get. Second baseman ran after it, and center fielder almost got to it. Maybe a little miscommunication out there. It looked like one of them at least had a chance at it. Maybe. But that one did hang for a little while. So that will be a hit there for Schneider, and that will bring to the plate number 16, Ellie Aho. So Aho to the plate. She gives this one a ride out to right. It's there, and it is caught by the right fielder, Violet Albrecht, and she makes it for the 3rd and final out. But damage was done there by Aitkin on an error that allowed 3 runs to cross. And that will be our score heading to the bottom of this first inning. 3-0 Gobblers strike first. Now the Gobblers will come out and get ready to play defense. Take a look and trying to figure out the numbers for pitchers, catchers for the Gobblers. Looking at it, looks like it will be number 15? Yes, number 15. Mia Kuntz will be the pitcher today for the Aitkin Gobblers. Kuntz will pitch. Trying to see who is going to be the catcher for her. We'll wait and see. But at third for the Gobblers is 25, Gabby Price. At short, it is number 10, Maddie Bergstaller. And at second, it is Ellie Hopp. At first, Haley Shurek. Out in center, Sam Edwards. In right, Sienna Mells. In left, it's Kate Palm. Behind the plate is Ellie or Ely Aho, or Aho, or Ahu. Not real sure how to pronounce her last name. But leading off for the Jaguars will be number 13, Annie Allman.
Number 13, Annie Allman.
Allman will step into the left-handed batter's box as she is set to lead off for the Jags. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. Outside for ball one. 1-0 count now for the leadoff batter, Annie Allman. Kuntz with the 1-0 delivery. Got a piece of it right back to Kuntz, and she'll throw it on to first for the out. Got a piece of that one, but not strong enough. And now to the plate comes number 15, Adam Painovich. Into the right-handed batter's box. One down. And here's the pitch from Kuntz. That one in there. Called strike one. Here's the 0-1 from Kuntz. That one kind of stuck in her hand a little bit, I think, and it is well high for ball one. Jags in their all-black unis, the red letters and numbers outlined in the white. Red Sox, and that one is swung on and fouled back by Painovich. So a 1-2 count now for Painovich, the batter, and here's the pitch from Kuntz. And good eye there from Painovich. She holds off, and that one wanted to go, but smartly holds off, and it will even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kuntz readies. Here's the 2-2. Painovich gets this one a ride down the third baseline, but that just travels foul. And she'll go back to the batter's box and do it again with a 2-2 count. One down, the leadoff batter, Allman. Allman, unfortunately, just hit a soft bouncer to the pitcher. But now Painovich trying to get on base. She gets a piece of that one to stay alive, and she'll do it again with a 2-2 count. After her, number 1, Natalie Staffney in the on-deck circle. Painovich battling up there, and she's making Kuntz throw a few more pitches, which is good. And this one will be ball 3 as it gets over the catcher. So a full count now for Painovich. And again, positive thing of this at-bat is, 1, she's making Kuntz throw a lot more pitches, and 2, she's battling. Here's the 3-2. And she gets this one, a piece of it, but that's going to get down right in front of the center fielder. So a base hit there for Painovich. That one had trouble written all over it. It hung up in the air with that southwest wind blowing, keeping it up in the air a little bit, and it gave some confusion to all the fielders there who were trying to go after it. But again, Natalie Staffney now to the plate. Runner at first, 1 down. First pitch to her, she swings. That one's right to the shortstop. It's in and out of her glove. Throw on to first is not going to be in time. That one's going to get away from the first baseman. They're going to send Painovich to third, and she's in there on the throwing error. Well, Painovich is going to reach third. I think we'll give a base hit there to Staffney. And now to the plate is the shortstop, Lainey Johnson. Runners at the corners, 1 down. Kuntz with the pitch. That one is going to be thrown down on the ball. It is not in time. It actually comes up short. And with that, Staffney takes second on the steal. Runners in scoring position with 1 down, and the Jags have an opportunity here to strike back. This one is high to Johnson for ball 2. 2-0 count for Johnson. Runners in scoring position, only 1 down, and Jags are in a prime spot to get back at least 1, if not 2, of those runs they gave up to Aitkin. Meanwhile, this one's going to be ball 3, so a 3-0 now for Lainey Johnson. No, they say 2-1, the umpire says. Well, we assumed it was a 3-0, but umpire said 2-1, I guess. But now it's 2-2. So here's the pitch. That one's going to be ball 3, so it will run the count full now. So full count. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. Johnson got a piece of that one. That's out towards left. This could be trouble, and it's down. And they're going to say foul. They're going to say that one is foul, and man, well, Aitkin catches a big break there because that scores 2, and Johnson's going to be coming around to third, if not trying to get home with that one the way it rolled, man. So Aitkin catches a break, and we'll do it again with the full count pitch. Here's the pitch. That's high, and that will be ball 4. Well, would have taken the hit, but a walk. We'll load the bases here for the pitcher, Eris Ritchie, stepping into that right-handed batter's box, and the Jaguars have an opportunity. The opportunity has just continued to grow here for a chance to score. This one is low inside even for ball 1. Still only one down here for the Jags in the bottom of the first inning. Aitkin leads 3-0. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. Oh, and Ritchie got just a piece of that one. She'll want that one back. That's one she could have definitely given a ride. Just got a piece of it to follow back to make the count now 1-1. Kuntz with the 1-1 delivery. And Ritchie not the one she wanted. She'll leave off that one, and it'll make the count now 1-2. Kuntz with the pitch now 1-2. Took something off of that one, and Ritchie just got tied up with that one. That is not an easy one to look at. You can't blame her on that one, and that will make it now 2 out. So 2 down, bases loaded, and to the plate is the catcher, number 14, Riley Scott. Kuntz with the pitch. In there for strike 1. 0-1 now for Scott, and again, the Jags, man, they need a base hit here, or even a walk if you can draw it. Scott gives this one a ride right towards third base, and unfortunately, it is easy enough for the third baseman to grab it and step on third for the final out of the inning. So the Jags will strand all 3 that they were able to get onto base there, and that will hurt a little bit as they go forward. Now, good news is you got the rest of the game to try and get those 3 runs back, but it does leave a sour taste in your mouth because, you had the opportunity to get, you really had the opportunity to get all 3 back there, but they'll have to move on and try to do it here in the second. We'll take your word from our fine sponsors and then be back for the start of the second inning here on WCMP.
Need a prescription or medication advice? Wellia Health's community pharmacies in Mora and Pine City are open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Our friendly pharmacists are here to answer your questions and to help with prescription transfers. Call us at Pine City 320-322-5141 or Mora 320-679-3999 or visit welliahealth.org.
A Lennox air source heat pump is a high-efficiency air conditioning unit that can also heat your home or business during the spring and fall. It's more economical than heating with propane. Have Dale's Heating and Appliance install your Lennox air source heat pump. Ask Dale's how you can receive up to $1,000 in rebates for your air source heat pump system. And ductless mini splits also qualify for up to $1,000. Visit dalesheatingandappliance.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Back here on Anthem Country WCMP. I didn't get to finish the fielders for the Jags. Out in right is Violet Albrecht. And then in center is Jenkins. And, Albrecht is in left. There we go. Frayling is in right. We'll get it figured out. But now with a 1-1 count, so lead off the second inning for the Gobblers is number 25, Gabby Price, the third baseman. Looks at that one. That's in there for strike number 2. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in the dirt for ball 2. So that will even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes for the leadoff batter, Gabby Price. Ritchie with the 2-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 1. So 1 down now for the Gobblers. And that will bring up to the plate number 6. That is Sam Edwards, who plays out in center field. Here's the pitch from Ritchie, and Edwards got a piece of that one and fouls it into the fencing as the backstop. So 0-1 now for Edwards. And Ritchie with the pitch. That's low for ball 1. 1-1 now for Sam Edwards. Again, the Gobblers let it off with a hit by Hop, and then she was out on the fielder's choice at second. That's going to be ball 2. She was out at the fielder's choice at second. And then Palm walked, and then a single. Or excuse me, not Palm. It was Haley Shurek who walked, and then a single from Palm. She got the single, but then it was a error on a throw that allowed all 3 runs to score, unfortunately. That's how they got their 3 runs. Now for Sam Edwards, though, it is a full count here, and Ritchie looking for the payoff pitch for out number 2. Swing and a miss. Dropped the ball on the strikeout, but thrown down to first, and the step on the bag for out number 2. Good pitch there. Got her to swing and miss through that one. Then the play at first by Allman. Now to the plate is the top of the order, Ellie Hop. Again, she's singled in her first at-bat. This one's going to be low inside for ball 1. Ritchie sets and delivers. This one is swung on. That's out towards center. And this one may have beat the center field a little bit. Oh, but what a catch out there in center. Oh, my goodness. Jenkins with a catch. She overran it just a little bit, but started to fall back to get that one and reaches her glove to grab it for out number 3. What a play by Jenkins out there in center. That would have been 2, if not maybe 3 bags there for Hop, but nope. Jenkins with a great glove there to deny that hit. And now it will be the Jags' turn at the plate, and they will try to get those runs back. Again, they had a chance there in the bottom of the first, but now they'll try and get it here in the bottom of the second. Oh, getting the Gobblers back out on defense. As leading off for the Jags here in the bottom of the second is going to be Jenkins. That's center fielder. She just made that catch.
Number 11, Lindy Jenkins.
Some Soulja Boys or walk-up music. Love it. So Kuntz with the first pitch tour is in there for strike 1. She's definitely feeling it after that nice grab out there in center. That one is in there for strike 2. She's got that nasty pitch that was a strikeout last inning that she got with it. That one's going to be high for ball 1. So being patient there is Jenkins. That one's low, and that will even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. Swung on and hit right back to the pitcher, and Kuntz will throw it on to first for out number 1. Similar start to the first inning, so maybe we can get the bases loaded again, though, and get the runs to cross. But now, come to the plate is the left fielder, number 9, Violet Albrecht. So 1 down for the Jags, and here's the pitch from Kuntz. And Albrecht got a piece of that one, and we'll foul it back and out of play. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. Took something off that one, and Hinckley they just can't seem to get that pitch down. That has been a big pitch for Kuntz, as now that will be 0-2 for Albrecht, and needs to battle back here. Kuntz with the 0-2 delivery, and that one is high for ball 1. Trying to use that pitch as a strikeout pitch again, but this one stays high in the zone. Here's the 1-2 now. Fires a strike there that is swung on and fouled out of play by Albrecht. So she took the off speed to come back with a fastball, and then now we'll see what she does here. 1-2 again. Albrecht just managed to get a piece of that one to keep herself alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, she's forcing Kuntz to throw a few more pitches, and she's battling here at this one. Kind of similar to Painovich's at-bat. Very similar. That one bouncing to the plate and by the catcher. That will even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Very similar to the first inning, how this is going. Got a ground out right to the pitcher, and then a battle at the plate in the second at-bat. Here's the 2-2, and she will foul it back again to keep herself alive. 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning for the Jags. Albrecht at the plate. Trying to find any way to get on base. Here's the 2-2 from Kuntz. Takes some off that one, and that one is hit towards left field, but it is caught on a line by the left fielder out there, Kate Palm. So Danica Frayling now to the plate, the right fielder. Kuntz with the pitch in there for strike 1. 0-1 here to Frayling. Here's the 0-1. Late on that one, and that makes it 0-2. Kuntz coming back with a quicker pitch that time, trying to get the 0-2. But she got a piece of that one, and she'll keep herself alive again. 0-2, and she fouled that one off.
Propane Services. Whether you're heating your home, running your business, or firing up the grill, our propane is safe, efficient, and always dependable. Choose Burnett Dairy Cooperative Propane, your trusted partner for all things energy. Stay warm, stay powered, stay local.
Back here on Anthem Country WCMP. Leading off for the Gobblers here in the top of the third is number 7, Sienna Mells, the right fielder. She watches the first 2 pitches go by for 2 balls, so it's a 2-0 count. Here's the pitch, though, from Ritchie, and I think that one clipped Mells. It did. So she will head down to first via the hit by pitch, unfortunately.
Can you hear a song now?
So the leadoff batter is hit by the pitch and is at first now, and that brings to the plate number 2, Haley Shurek. And she gives this one a ride. That's going to get down for a base hit. Oh, and then it gets by the right fielder. She's going to have a lot of room to run. In fact, she's going to have a shot at home, and they are going to have Shurek stop at second. And the RBI there will score a run to make it 4-0 for the Gobblers. So we'll now have a runner at third for the Gobblers. And that one run did score, the RBI. And now at the plate is Kate Palm. She gives the first pitch a ride foul off the third base line. So an 0-1 pitch here from Richie. And this one right at the third baseman, and a great grab by Natalie Staffney to grab out number 1. So 1 down now for the Gobblers. And the Jags will now see Maddie Bergstaller at the plate, and she gives this one a ride foul off the third base line and out of play. So Richie readies, and here's the 0-1 pitch. This one is popped up again. This one is to the left fielder, and she manages to reach behind and grab it, but it will score the run. So a sac fly RBI there for Bergstaller. That will score the run to make it 5-0 in favor of the Gobblers. 2 down now. And that one is fouled out of play here by Madeline Schneider. And Richie with the pitch. That one stays high for ball 1. 1-1 count now for Madeline Schneider. 2 runs have crossed here this inning for the Gobblers, and Richie and company trying to get out with only allowing the 2. That one stays high as well, and that will be ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Madeline Schneider. And here's the pitch from Richie. Swung on, softly gets by Richie to second. Throw on to first is in time for out number 3. Well, unfortunately, some damage was done after the hit by pitch and then the RBI by Shurek. And then via the fielding error out there, allowed her to get to third. Then it was a line out for Kate Palm right to the third baseman. A sac fly by Maddie Bergstaller. And then Madeline Schneider was out on the grounder. So 2 runs do cross, as I mentioned, for the Gobblers. It's 5-0. But if you're a Jaguar fan, you don't need to panic because there is still plenty. First of all, there's still plenty of time, but also you're in a spot where your offense has shown the ability to kind of get things going. So there's no need to panic. This offense for Hinckley-Finlayson can get things going and can get things going quickly. So there's no need to panic if you're the Jags. Just settle in, understand and realize that you're not going to get all 5 back at once. There's just no 5-run hit in baseball. That's a grand slam is the closest thing that's 4, but you can get 1 at a time, and that's what they got to focus on, just 1 at-bat at a time. Get on to first, and then get another at-bat, then get another single, then another single, then just go at it 1 by 1. Now to the plate is going to be the top of the order, Annie Ullman. The lefty watches that one high for ball 1. She grounded out back in the first. Again, it was right to Kuntz, who is the pitcher for Aitkin. Here's the 1-0. That one's low in the dirt. It's a 2-0 now for Ullman. Bottom of the third, 5-0 on that Brace Orthodontic scoreboard. Gobblers over the Jags right now. But again, this was the part of the order that the Jags were able to really get things going for their offense. Ullman now with a 3-0 count. Kuntz readies. Here's the pitch. And that is ball 4. So she is going to draw the lead-off walk. And that brings to the plate Adam Painovich. She hit a single last time out. Eventually reached third. Kuntz with the windup in the pitch. Painovich down the third base line. And it goes foul. Head coach Joe Ranger couldn't quite grab it there. He needed the glove. Would have had it if he had the glove. So it will be an 0-1 count now for Painovich. I'm not seeing any. Meanwhile, it is 0-2 now for Painovich. Painovich with an 0-2. Kuntz readies. Here's the pitch. And Painovich gives this one a ride right to the third baseman. They're trying to go to 2 for 1. I think she's safe. She is! So they try to get the lead runner at second, but the slide is there in time, and she is safe. Well, tried to get her, but throw not in time. And now Natalie Staffney to the plate. She had a single and eventually reached second via the steal. So this time out, though, for Staffney, there's no outs. Runners at first and second. Kuntz with the pitch. That's high for ball 1. Allman getting a pretty good lead over there at second. She's got some wheels to her. Staffney, the 1-0 count. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. That's high for ball 2. Again, Allman making that catcher do some work because Allman's getting quite the lead out there at second, and that catcher has a couple times kind of shown she might throw, but she has yet to. This one is high for ball 3. 3-0 for Natalie Staffney. Runners at first and second already. Nobody out here for the Jags, and they're putting themselves in another position to get some runs back. This one is fired in there. No, it's going to be called ball 4. Well, ball 4 is called, and this is going to load the bases for number 31, Lainey Johnson. She walked in her last at-bat back in the first, but this is a spot where she's looking to put a swing on it. This one is going to go foul, and left fielder there for Aitkin nearly got there in time, but lucky that one drops foul, so Lainey Johnson will have another chance at it here. Bases loaded, nobody out. Jags could get 3 of the 5 runs back with one swing. This one is swung on. It's going to be right to the shortstop. They'll throw it home to get 1, so they do get the leadoff runner out at home, and that will prevent a score. That is going to be 1 out, and Johnson will be safe at first via the fielder's choice. So 1 down. Unfortunately, the lead runner is out, but you still keep the bases loaded here, and a chance for Eris Ritchie. She struck out looking with that almost that knuckleball pitch from Kuntz, and she'll know better this time around. So still only 1 down, bases loaded. Here's the pitch, and this one is ridden out to right. Oh man, and a catch out there and right. That's just a good catch, but the smart base running there by Adam Painovich. She's going to tag up from third and get home for the score. So 2 down, but the sac fly there from Eris Ritchie scores 1. Sac fly RBI for out number 2, and here's number 14, Riley Scott to the plate. Runners now at first and second with the runner from third scoring. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. Scott gives this one a right out to center straight away, but the center fielder is onto it in time for out number 3. Well, some good-looking at-bats there for Hinckley-Finlayson. Just unfortunately could not get those other 2 runners around. Good swings, good rides with those balls, but unfortunately they are right into the glove of the outfielders. So offense is getting a little bit going here for Hinckley-Finlayson, but they'll have to get back on defense now as we will have the 4th inning when we come back here on Anthem Country.
Your journey to smile with your forever starts at Embrace Orthodontics. The team at Embrace is committed to providing world-class care and a remarkable orthodontic experience. Choose between custom Light Force braces or Invisalign clear aligners with locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge, and a plan to fit your budget, whether you have insurance or not. Embrace Orthodontics will make your smile journey comfortable, convenient, and customized just for you. Visit EmbraceMN.com today to find out how to set up your free exam. EmbraceMN.com. Embrace Orthodontics, a smile you will embrace forever.
Dale's Heating and Appliance, your local heating and appliance expert, is committed to making your family's comfort their top priority. And now you can add water softeners to their list of expertise. Dale's now offers water softener sales or rentals along with installation, service, and salt delivery. So if your home needs quality water, make the call to your already trusted experts at Dale's, or just visit dalesheatingandappliance.com. dalesheatingandappliance.com.
Back here on Anthem Country WCMP, getting ready for the top of the fourth. That brings to the plate Ellie Aho. First pitch swinging right to the shortstop, Johnson, who makes the diving grab for out number one. What a grab there by Lainey Johnson for out number one. That was a base hit waiting to happen, but she absolutely denies it. And now another diving attempt by Lainey Johnson to try and get the ball from Gabby Price, but that is just going to get by her for a single.
We actually make her wash it.
So runner out first now, and Sam Edwards to the plate for the Gobblers. Here's the pitch from Richie. That one is in there for strike one. Does pop out of the catcher's glove there, and she is able to find it. Here's the 0-1 from Richie. Swung on and right to the shortstop again, Lainey Johnson. Oh, but she can't get that one cleanly, and another diving play from Lainey Johnson. And that arm's going to be tore up by the end of this one. Looking at it, I think they're actually going to give her time to look at that arm. Looks like she's okay.
Duct tape it up.
So unfortunately, that ball just couldn't get to it in time. It kind of got trapped underneath her glove, and then it rolled slightly away, so she could not get it to either second or first on time. So runners at first and second now, one down for the Gobblers, and this ball going to get away from the catcher, Scott, and that will allow the runners to advance. So now runners in scoring position at second and third, one down for the Gobblers, and it's Ellie Hopp at the plate now. Hopp with a 1-0 count, and here's the pitch from Richie. That one just high for ball two. So it's, Hinckley-Finlayson is down 5-1, but I'm telling you right now, it is a lot closer than that scoreboard shows. This Hinckley-Finlayson offense has twice loaded the bases and unfortunately has not been able to score but one run off of those. Here's the pitch. That is going to be in there for strike one. 3-1 count now for Ellie Hopp. The top of the order batter. Richie with the 3-1. In there, swing and a miss from Hopp. And Richie now looking for the strikeout pitch here to get it to 2 outs and make a third out a lot, maybe less stressful. This one, though, is given a ride out to center, and that could possibly score via the tag. They're going to, they're going to just hold on to it. So they will get the runner from third to score via the sac fly from Ellie Hopp. Sac fly RBI for out number 2, and the runner from second moves to third. And now that brings to the plate Sienna Mells again. It's 6-1 is the score. This one is swung on and popped up right to Lainey Johnson again. It was just a Lainey Johnson inning, this one.
Good two hands.
So she makes the first and the final out of the inning for Hinckley-Finlayson. And the Gobblers, though, do damage again, getting that one run to score via the sac fly. And they lead 6-1 going into the bottom of the fourth. But again, the Jags have had their offense get rolling here in this one. So they just need to make sure that they get it rolling again. Just get the bats on balls. Just, force Aitkin into those mistakes. We've seen that here. The first and the third inning, we've seen it. they force them into mistakes because of the walks and the hits that they were able to get. They were able to load the bases twice. They were able to get one run via the sac fly from Ayers Ritchie, but if you get an opportunity like that again, you got to pay it off with more than one run. You got to pay it off and try and get a few more runs across. But again, still no time to panic. Just, again, one at-bat at a time. Get those runs to cross, and you'll be right back in it. It'll be Nindy Jenkins to lead it off. The center fielder will lead it off for the Jags here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Jags coming in off a 3-game losing skid, trying to end it here against the Gobblers. Giving the Gobblers a run, even though, again, they're trailing by 5. That scoreboard really doesn't tell the whole story on Matt and Brace orthodontic scoreboard. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. Jenkins watches that one go by for strike one. Beautiful day for baseball, but that wind, that southwest wind, is blowing. It is pretty gusty out here. Here's the pitch from Kuntz, and that is in the dirt for ball one. 1-1 now for Nindy Jenkins. 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out back in the second. Kuntz readies with the 1-1. That is high for ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Jenkins. As they will for the first time here today, trying to get the leadoff batter a hit. Meanwhile, this one foul tip back for strike 2. Even count at 2 balls, 2 strikes for the leadoff batter, Nindy Jenkins. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. And Jenkins gave this one a soft ride, foul off the third base line. So she'll have to jog on back to the right-hander batter's box to do it once again with a 2-2 count. Kuntz with the 2-2 pitch. It's high, and that will run the count full. Good battle here for Jenkins as the leadoff batter. But here's the full count pitch. That is ball 4. For the second inning in a row, it is a leadoff walk for the Jags. And now coming to the plate is Violet Albrecht. We're in that number 9 jersey. Runner at first. And nobody out for the Jags. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. Trying to bunt this one, but it's popped up and almost caught by the catcher. So the Jags avoid a out there via the pop-up bunt. So trying to bunt on, but Albrecht nearly was out via the pop-up bunt. But she'll get a chance to do it again as that one falls. For strike 1, here's the 0-1 from Kuntz. Behind that one is Albrecht, and now it's an 0-2. Runner at first, leadoff batter. Kuntz with the 0-2. That will bounce past the catcher and allow Jenkins to glide into second. So with the pass ball, Jenkins takes second, and it's a 1-2 count for Violet Albrecht. One, two on the way. That is swung, and that's going to be a base hit. That is going, no, they're going to hold Jenkins at third. Ranger wanted to, but he realized, maybe we'll keep you at third. Either way, it is a base hit for Albrecht, and now runners at the corners with nobody out. And now coming to the plate, Danica Frayling, wearing number 4. Kuntz with the pitch. That is high for ball 1, and taking second on the steal is Albrecht. They did not want to chance the throw down because you throw down, you get an error, and you allow Jenkins from third to score. Meanwhile, Kuntz with the 1-0, giving this one a ride. Foul off the first base line for Danica Frayling. So 1-1 now for Frayling. Runners at second and third into scoring position. Kuntz with the 1-1. Oh, and this one well up in the zone, and that one's fouled off by Frayling, luckily. So 1-2 count now. Kuntz with the 1-2. And I'm going to say she tipped it. She did. She got a piece of it. So a foul tip there by Frayling to keep herself alive in this at-bat. And again with the 1-2 pitch is Kuntz. That one's going to be low. It gets by the catcher, and they're not going to have a play at home. And another pass ball leads to a score for Hinckley-Finlayson. It will also advance the runner from second to third. So nobody out. A run scores, and it's 6-2 for Hinckley-Finlayson and a 2-2 count for Danica Frayling. Well, here you go. And Frayling, this one's going to go foul off the first baseline. So she keeps herself alive. Still a 2-2 count. Here's the 2-2. Frayling gives this one a ride. It's going to be popped up towards right field. That's going to get down. It's a base hit. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if the right fielder thought the second baseman was going to get to it or vice versa, but either way, that's going to get down. And an RBI single for Frayling. Well, here we go, and all of a sudden the lead is cut in half by the Jags. And now back to the top of the order, Annie Ullman to the plate. Runner at first, nobody out. That one rolls past the catcher. Another pass ball is going to allow the Jags to take another bag. Oh, and that one even rolls from the shortstop trying to grab it, so luckily that one didn't go too far. Another pass ball here allows the Jags to take yet another base, and they're already at second. 1-0 count for Ullman, and she's behind that one. This will be strike one. Now, Kuntz has got a pretty good fastball, but hasn't been able to go to it as much as she would like. And here's the 1-1. This one swung on. Oh, it's going to be trapped by the shortstop. Throw on to first. No throw. No throw. And it's going to be an infield single for Annie Ullman. And it does move the runner to third. So runners at the corners. Nobody out. And here comes Autumn Painovich. 2 for 2. 2 singles with a run scored. Here's the pitch. That's going to be ball one, and then they throw down to the second baseman. They're not trying to see Ullman take second. It is a 1-0 count for Painovich. Pitch is swung on, and that's going to leave the infield. That's going to score one. Will they try and get this runner from third to score? They are. They're pointing her home. It is going to be a play. No, they're not going to have a play at the plate. It's a 2-run double there from Autumn Painovich. Well, you talk about coming up clutch. That is just what she did there. A 2-run double, and it's now a 1-run game for the Jags. Like I said, there was no need to panic if you're the Jaguars. You are right in this thing. This offense has just been waiting for an inning like this. We've seen it in the first and the third. It was like, man, when are they going to finally break through with getting these runners on base? And finally they do it, and Autumn Painovich does it. She was 2 for 2 up to that point, and now a 2-run double for her. And believe it or not, people, there are still no outs for the Jags. What a big hit there for Autumn Painovich. This is exactly what the Jags needed, and looks like we might be switching pitchers if we're looking at Aitkin. They will. So it will no longer be Kuntz. Instead, Can't quite see the numbers. That number possibly 7, Mel's? Okay, so did get word it is the right fielder coming into pitch. So it will be Sienna Mells who comes into pitch. Kuntz goes 3 innings, those 5 runs. Seven hits. So it will be Sienna Mells coming in for the Gobblers. Two strikeouts for Kuntz. 4 walks is her stat line. So, again, the right fielder came to pitch. Looks like we do get someone out there, right? 25, possibly? So Price will move to right field. And then we have Casey Kaiser into the infield, possibly looking like she's standing around that third base area, maybe, for Price. I think that's possibly the changes there. I think we're good. So yes, Casey Kaiser comes to play third. Price moves to right field, and the right fielder Mells comes in to pitch. So there's your changes for Aitkin. Meanwhile, the Jags have no outs. They have had 4 runs cross, and they've got a runner at second in Autumn Painovich, and now to the plate it's Natalie Staffney who will come in, and she is 1 for 1 today, a single in the first and a walk in the third. Get some Rob Zombie for the walk-up music. Dragula. Good song. So Mells with her first pitch of the afternoon, and Staffney swings and misses on that one for strike 1. You know, that's, again, I mentioned it before, but this is exactly the inning the Jags needed to have, and they force a pitching change, and now Staffney, that one rides down the first base line. It stays fair. It's going to roll all the way to the right fielder. It's going to wind up scoring a run. RBI single for Staffney. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has tied our score at 6 apiece. What a 4th inning for the Jags. Lainey Johnson now to the plate. First pitch is low for ball 1. And what an inning here for the Jags. 1-0 pitch to Johnson. Ooh, she wanted to go. Will hold off on the swing. Throw down to second. Not in time. And Staffney is in there with a steal. Two-0 count for Johnson. Runner now at second. Nobody out. She gives this one a ride. It's popped up right to the third baseman. Oh, it popped out of her glove. So Johnson catches a break there. And she'll get another chance at it.
Drive it.
So a 2-1 count for Lainey Johnson. After that ball was dropped in foul territory, here's the pitch from Mells. And Johnson, this one a slow roller to third, and because of that, it's going to be an infield single for Lainey Johnson. And Staffney has to stay at second, not enough room to try and go to third. And now to the plate, Eris Ritchie. First and second is where the runners are at. Nobody out here for the Jags. Ritchie with another chance to try and get some more runs across. She had a sac fly RBI in the third. That scored their first run. She looks at this one go by for strike one. Here's another pitch from Mells. Mells gives this one a ride out to straightaway center, and it's caught. They're going to send Staffney to third, and she is safe on the tag. So the runner from second will move to third. Johnson stays at first. And there is one out. Runners at the corners with one down. And now to the plate for Hinckley-Finlayson is Riley Scott. Mells with the first out here in the fourth for the Gobblers. Or at least she helps.
She tagged before the ball. What? No, she tagged.
Oh, that. There is. Oh, my. Oh. Oh, no. She was clearly there after. What they're saying right now is Staffney left early. From my look at it, there is no way she left early. There is absolutely no chance that she left early. She went back, she tagged. Oh my goodness. That is really unfortunate. That's a really tough call. Wow. So instead of having runners at the corners with one down, they say she left early, and now two down, and with the pass ball, Johnson is into second. Wow. Riley Scott with a 1-1 count. Two down, they're saying. Swing and a miss from Scott will make it a 1-2 count now. Well, you talk about a momentum killer. That's that right there is a momentum killing call. And no matter how much we don't think it was the right one, unfortunately we have to stick with it. And there are two down now. Runner at second for Hinckley. 2-2 count for Scott. Here's the pitch from Mells. And gives this one a ride to Riley Scott. They're going to have a chance at another run to score. They're going to send the runner home, and she is in safely. An RBI single from Riley Scott. Riley Scott says, what momentum breaker? So the run roll score from second. And it is a 7-6 lead for the Jags. And now to the plate is Nindy Jenkins. Believe it or not, they've batted around. So the Jags have a 7-6 lead. And Jenkins watches this one go by. Ball one. Yeah, Scott just says, what momentum breaker? Let's get it going. Let's keep it going with two outs. They're going to get a courtesy runner over there at first. And they'll bring in number 23. That is Piper Brandt. She will be the courtesy runner at first for Riley Scott. And again at the plate, Nindy Jenkins with a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch to her. That is ball two. So again, trying to keep this two-out rally going. Nindy Jenkins started off with a walk. A pass ball allowed her to get to second, and a pass ball allowed her to score. She gives this one a ride, and that one is going to be fouled off the first base line. Brings her count to 2 balls and 1 strike. What an inning for the Jags. Mells with the pitch. That's low, and that will make it a 3-1 count for Jenkins. Here's the pitch from Mells. Oh, they're going to say in and out of the glove, but it is a strike. So strike 2 to Jenkins, in and out of the glove of the catcher, but full count now for Jenkins. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss through that one. And Jenkins starts off the inning and finishes off the inning as the final out via the strikeout. But 6 runs cross for the Jags and they have a 7-6 lead over the Aitkin Gobblers as we move forward to the top of the 5th inning. We'll return with that 5th inning here on Anthem Country WCMP.
Minnesota Twins baseball.
Twins 2, Blue Jays nothing, 9th inning. The 0-2 to Varsho. He struck him out! Twins win! Twins
Every
win!
hit, home run, or strikeout on the boat, on the lawnmower, or at work. All the action is right here.
This is Royce Lewis.
This is Ryan Jeffers. Hey, Twins fans, this is Rocco Baldelli. You can catch Twins baseball all season long right here.
The Twins!
On Cool Country 100.9 WCMP.
Arrowhead Transit, your community, your ride. Arrowhead Transit is proud to support this station and bring you reliable public transportation in your community. Whether you need to get to work, school, or the doctor's office, our friendly drivers and comfortable buses are here to serve you. We're committed to connecting communities and making transportation accessible for everyone. Arrowhead Transit is your community partner in getting around. Arrowhead Transit is a supporting sponsor of the station and is dedicated to supporting our local communities.
Yeah, you can catch Twins games over on 100.9 FM WCMP. Catch today's game at 6:40 against the Baltimore Orioles. First pitch in there to the leadoff batter. Haley Shurek is in there for strike one from Eris Ritchie. Also stay tuned as this one is swung on, and that's going to be a base hit for Shurek. So she leads it off with a single for the Gobblers. But as I was saying, stay tuned because every Friday morning during the morning shows on both WCMP and KBK, we're giving away Saints tickets to the St. Paul Saints. So if you want your chance to win a pair of tickets to the St. Paul Saints, tune in every Friday to the 100.9 WCMP morning show with Josh Ramiron and the morning show with Adam Hefty on KBK. She is, taking second, and she is in there under the tag for the steal. Get a run to cross. This next pitch is ball 2. 2-1 for Palm. Here's the pitch from Ritchie. Swung on, and this one is headed towards foul territory, and looks like it will go out of play. That will even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Palm. Runner at second, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning. Jaguars lead 7-6 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. As Palm steps back into the batter's box, Ritchie looking for the strikeout pitch here. In there, and she'll get her down looking for strike 3. Good looking pitch there from Ritchie. She got her looking, had her all sorts confused on that one. Now to the plate, Maddie Bergstaller. First pitch to her, swung on and swung right at the third baseman. Throw on to first is in time for out number 2. The runner will move from second to third, but they get that runner out at first for out number 2. So now all he needs one more out to get out of this inning. Now to the plate is Madeline Schneider. Schneider on the day, 1 for 2. Ritchie with the pitch. This one, short roller to third. Throw on to first from Staffney is in time for out number 3. Excuse me, that was not Schneider at the plate. It was somebody else, but either way, it's a ground out to Staffney. She throws on first for out number 3, and that is all you can ask for if you're Hinckley-Finlayson. Is after allowing that base hit, get 3 outs in a row, and now we're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning with the YMCA coming over the loudspeakers. 7-6 is the Jaguars' lead on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. I've mentioned about the St. Paul Saints giveaway every Friday morning on KBK and WCMP with Adam Hefty and Joshua Miron. I've mentioned how you can catch Twins games over on WCMP 100.9 FM. But you can catch local sports on all stations. And the way you can know which station it's going to be on and where we're going to be at during the week is on our websites. Go to either kbk.com, wcmpradio.com, go to the sports tab, click on broadcast schedule. That will show you all the links for the games that we'll be at during that week. That is subject to change. If you're watching this one on our YouTube station, on this YouTube station, be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube That way you are notified every single time that we go live with a local sporting event. So hit that red subscribe button. You'll see it on the YouTube. Hit that red subscribe button. It says subscribe. Hit that. That way every time we go live, all you have to do is click the notification. It will take you right to the live video. Leading off here for the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars is Violet Albrecht. Violet Albrecht last inning had a single and eventually came around to score as part of the 6 runs that scored last inning for the Jags before they made a pitching change to Mells. That is Sienna Mells. The first pitch to her is in there for strike 1. Again, just a really beautiful day for some softball. Just to be outside, really. It's a beautiful day to be out. Mells with the 0-1. That's high for ball 1. And I think what eventually wound up happening there for Coons is Hinckley-Finlayson, they were able to get the bases loaded a couple times, but they had a couple of at-bats where they battled, and there were some at-bats that went 8, 9, 10 pitches deep that they just battled at plate, and eventually I think Coons' arm may have gotten a little worn out, and that's how Hinckley-Finlayson was able to get on, but with some fantastic base running as well. 1-2 pitch to Albrecht is outside for ball 2 to even it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the leadoff batter, Albrecht, with a 2-2. Sienna Mells with the pitch. Swing and a miss by Albrecht. And that is out number 1. So the leadoff batter is down on strikes. And now Danica Frayling at the plate. Mells with the pitch. That's in there for strike 1. Just not the pitch that Frayling wanted, and she'll wait to get a better one to swing at. Here's the 0-1. Swing is in a little bit behind that one, and now it's an 0-2. Sienna Mells out in front of this one, 0-2, but Frayling has a chance, and she swings through that one for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for the Jags, and it'd be less than ideal to come up off an inning like they did and go 1, 2, 3. But here's Annie Allman, the top of the order for the Jags. Top of the order's been pretty darn good here today. We'll see if she can't spark something and get a 2-out rally going. First pitch to her is in there for strike 1. Mells has come in and done a pretty good job at that pitcher spot, though. We got to give credit to her. She's done a really good job coming in and kind of taking control in that pitcher circle. Here's the 0-1 pitch, though, to Allman. And well behind that one is Allman. Late decision to swing there. So now she's down 0-2, and Jags in danger of going 1, 2, 3. Can Allman get a base hit and get this inning to continue? And, well, she fouls that one off to keep herself alive. And that's kind of how things went there a couple times that they were able to get runners on in the first and third, is they started battling at the plate, fouling it off. Then all of a sudden they'd either walk or get a base hit. And then all of a sudden they just started to roll from there. So let's see if Allman, again, can't get a little bit of a 2-out rally going, whether she draws the walk or gets a base hit. I think if you get a base hit, that will definitely take some confidence out of Mells, but it won't happen this inning because Allman is going to go down looking as out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Jags, and we will move to the top of inning number 6. This game has moved along very swiftly, and we'll be back for the 6th inning of play once we return after word from our fine sponsors here on Anthem Country WCMP.
At Burnett Dairy Cooperative, we're more than just your local dairy. We're also a trusted propane provider, serving homes, farms, and businesses across northwestern Wisconsin and east central Minnesota. Whether you need a tank installed or reliable delivery, we're here for you 365 days a year with flexible options that fit your needs. As a farmer-owned cooperative, we're committed to supporting our community because your home and farm deserve the best. Call 715-689-1032 to learn more. Burnett Dairy Propane, serving you with pride every day of the year.
Are you ready to get back to doing what you love? Whether it's recovering from an injury or preventing one, Wellia Health Sports Medicine Team is here to help. From kids to adults, we specialize in treating sports injuries, including concussions. We're here to get you back to peak performance. Call us today at 320-679-1313 or schedule an appointment through MyChart. Visit welliahealth.org.
Back here on Anthem Country WCMP, Leading off the top of the 6th inning for the Aitkin Gobblers is going to be Ellie Aho. First pitch to her, though, is high for ball 1. Or Eiley. This one is in there for strike 1 from Richie. So now a 1-1 count for Eiley Aho. 1-1 on the way from Richie. Just out of the zone, low for ball 2. That's a good-looking pitch that Richie will probably come back to try and get players swinging through that one. Here's the 2-1. That's in there for strike number 2. That's been a really good pitch, though, that one has for Richie. That evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Eiley Aho, the leadoff batter here in the top of the 6th. That one is swung on just past the pitcher. Laney Johnson throwing to first is in time for out number 1. So 1 down now for the Gobblers. And at the plate is Gabby Price. She moved over to left or right field there in the 4th. Looks at strike 1. Richie with the 0-1. That one swung on, popped up. That one is towards the outfield, and that's going to get by the left fielder. That's going to be a base hit. The throw in is going to hold the runner at second, so it's a double for Price. That one, again, hung up there in the wind. It didn't look like it was hit too extremely hard, but that wind kind of helped it carry a little bit. And the left fielder, yeah, I can't blame her too much on that one because that one carried a lot. Albrecht out there and left. That is a tough one to go get, especially with that wind whipping like it is. So now at the plate, Sam Edwards. And this one's fouled back into the backstop. So now the Jags have a little bit of work to do here. Of course, getting this second out would be huge without allowing a base hit. 0-1 for Edwards. And Richie with the pitch. Swing and a miss by Edwards. And Richie out in front on this one. And she can get her to swing through or just not look at or not swing on the strike. That would be huge for out number 2. Richie, the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss for out number 2. And that really does a lot of good for this Jaguar team to help them get out of this inning. 2 down now, and we're back to the top of the order with Ellie Hopp. 1 for 2 today. Sack fly RBI back in the 4th, and it's 0-1 the count for her. Richie with the pitch. That one's fouled back. Here we go, 0-2. Can the Jags get out of the inning? Richie looking to do so with another payoff pitch here. Richie readies. Here's the 0-2. Swung on. This one's popped up. It's going to hang it there for the second baseman. She grabs it for out number 3. Well, the base hit does not matter for the Jags. They get those 3 outs they needed and now have another chance to extend their lead. They'll need to try and extend it here. They'll need to be a little bit aggressive this inning to try and extend their lead because you know the Aitkin Gobblers are going to do any and everything in their power in the top of the 7th to try and get the lead back. But the Jaguars offense getting set and ready to do it again here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So the Gobblers will have Sienna Mells out there for this bottom of the 6th. Can the Jags get some runs, extra runs added on to that lead? That would be so helpful, not only in the grand scheme of the game, but just for the confidence for Richie going out there to pitch. Getting some more runs added on to this lead would give so much more confidence to Richie going out there back into the circle, because then she just looks at it as if, okay, now all I got to do is go out and get 3 more outs. And her team, they just got to back her up like they have been all game long. This has been a good one. The scoreboard won't tell the whole story. It was 6-1 going into that bottom of the fourth inning, and I even looked at it and I just went, man, it doesn't feel 6-1. And there came the Jaguars out in that fourth inning, and 6 runs they scored. Leading it off for the Jaguars is going to be Adam Panovich, 3 for 3 today with an 2-run double back in the fourth. That one's, going to be called strike one. So strike one to Panovich. And if there's one batter who's looking to keep her hot day alive, it is her. She is 3 for 3, as I mentioned. 2 singles and a 2-run double back in the fourth. Here's the 1-1. Got a piece of that one, fouls it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Panovich. Again, Sienna Mells has really come into this game and as the pitcher and taking control, but if there's a batter that could get a base hit and really swing momentum back their way, it's Panovich. But here's Mells with the 1-2. That's in there, and that'll get her looking. You got to give credit where it's due. Mells has really done a good job getting out in front in these counts and not looking back. Here comes Natalie Staffney to the plate. She's 2 for 2 today. An RBI in the fourth and a walk in the third. Gets a piece of that one, fouls it back, and it's 0-1. Last inning was 1-2-3. That is exactly what the Jags cannot have here in this one. 0-1 on the way from Mells, and this one is fouled back out of play as well. So now an 0-2 count for Staffney. Mells with the pitch. This one is swung on, and it's going to hit the third baseman, and it is going to stay down, and that is a base hit that the Jags desperately needed. I think we'll call it an E5, though, but doesn't matter because now the Jags have a runner on, and a base runner does absolute wonders to cut into the confidence of Mells. Here's Lainey Johnson. She gets a piece of this one, and it pops up, but into foul territory. No one's able to go get it, and it falls harmlessly to the ground. Lainey Johnson, 1 for 2 today, a single back in the fourth. She eventually came around to score. Runner at first, 1 down for the Jags. Here's the pitch from Mells. This one's out towards center, and it's going to get down. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to roll all the way to the fence. That's going to score 1. And Lainey Johnson, she's going to go for 3. Throw to third, not in time. It's an RBI triple from Lainey Johnson. What a clutch at-bat for Lainey Johnson. An RBI triple to extend the Jags' lead to 2. And now to the plate is Eris Ritchie, and she has a chance to extend the lead further. That one swung on, going to go foul down the first base line, and man, if that thing stays fair, it's another run at it on. What a big at-bat there from Lainey Johnson. And now Ritchie in another spot to try and add on. Here's the pitch from Mells. That's low. That'll be ball 1. So 1-1 to the Jags pitcher, Eris Ritchie. That one is ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mells with the pitch. And Eris looked at that one, thought about it for a moment, but does not swing. That'll even up her count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down, runner at third. Here's the pitch. And a good eye there from Ritchie. That one is going to go by for ball 3 to run this count full. Mells with the pitch. Richie gives this one a ride. It's going to leave. RBI single for Eris Richie. And what a few couple clutch at-bats here for the Jags to now extend the lead 9-6. Like I said, I think you just get a base runner on, and that digs into the confidence of Mel's, and it did. You got Staffney on, and then Laney Johnson, the RBI triple, and since it's an RBI single for Eris Richie, that brings up Riley Scott. They'll get a courtesy runner out there for the pitcher, Richie. Coming out to courtesy run is going to be number 19.
Number 14, Riley Scott.
Riley Scott. Now at the plate. That's Barnick over there at first to courtesy run. This one is swung. That's going to be just foul. Oh, man. That is a perfect hit for Riley Scott. If that stays fair, that probably scores another run for the Jags. Man, oh, man. Man, Scott, that would have been the perfect hit. But it just goes foul, and it is an 0-1 count now for Riley Scott. Runner at first, one down. And the throwback to first, is not in time. Barnick, luckily, is safe, and whew, that was an anxious moment or two. Barnick was off the bag. She came back. The tag was not there, and then her foot was off the bag, and then she got it back, and there's some conversation going on between the umpire and Aitkin coaches. Looks like everything's figured out. Okay. Well, now a 1-1 count for Scott. And the Aitkin coach still wants to have a word. Now he's going to... So now he wants the umpires to come together. I'm not real sure conversation. He called her safe, so yeah. And they will stick with the safe call. So Barnick is gonna have to pay a little bit closer attention. All right, we're back. 1-1 for Riley Scott. Runner at first. One down. Here's the pitch from Mel's. Oh, and a swing and miss on that. Rising fastball there to Scott. Now we'll run the count now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still only 1 down for the Jags, and Scott, again, looking to get a base hit here. Try and get another run to score. That one's high. And that's ball 2 to even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 6th. Jags lead 9-6 over the Aitkin Gobblers. Mel's with the pitch. And Scott got a piece. That one fouls it back to stay alive. And she'll continue to battle. But again, a base runner is all the Jags need to dip into that confidence of Mel's. And they had 2 straight RBIs since then. Here's the 2-2 in there. And Scott will go down looking. But Mel's has had a really good pitch to get these batters down looking, unfortunately. And now it's Nindy Jenkins to the plate for the Jags. Nindy Jenkins had an inning where she was at the plate twice back in the 4th. Eventually came around to score. She is 0 for 2 today. That one is outside ball 1. 2 down, runner at first for the Jags. Jenkins at the plate. Next one, outside again for ball 2. 2-0 for Jenkins. Mel's with the pitch. That's 3-0. As that one's out low and in the dirt. .3-0 for Jenkins. Runner at first, 2 down. Bottom of the 6th. Mel's with the pitch. That's in there just above the knees for strike 1 to Nindy Jenkins. Mills readies, and here's the 3-1. That is in there, outside part of the zone for strike 2. So that will run the count full here for Jenkins as they try to keep this inning alive and add on to their lead. Here's the pitch. And that one's foul off by Jenkins, so she'll continue to battle at the plate, give herself another opportunity. Here's the pitch once again. Oh, and that's going to be in there for strike 3 looking again. All 3 outs were strikeouts looking, but the Jaguars still do some damage on getting 2 runs to cross here in this one, and they lead 9-6 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard as we move to what could be the 7th and final inning here in Hinckley. We'll be back after a word from our fine sponsors for that 7th inning here on Anthem Country WCMP. Aurelius Manufacturing has been providing innovative solutions to customers since 1926. Specializing in the production of custom welded hydraulic cylinders for over 40 years, our focus is on providing value to customers through innovative problem solving, quality workmanship, and customer service. Our team works with your team to develop designs that provide the most value for your application. We leverage technology and craftsmanship, turning designs into finished products quickly and accurately. Aurelius Manufacturing is a proud sponsor of the Brand Bombers.
You gotta stop somewhere, so make a stop into the Holiday Station store in Pine City and start saving. Right now, get Red Bull 8.4 ounces, 3 for $6.50. Pringles are 2 for $5 and save $2 on 7th Avenue Pizza when you buy 2. Plus, introducing Lucky Days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mention to the cashier, it's your lucky day, and get free items and discounts on drinks and fuel. Whoa! Keep an eye on social media to learn more. Better get into the Freeway Holiday Station store in Pine City.
It off is Sienna Mills for the Gobblers. Swings and misses on that one, and Eris Ritchie has been in a rhythm. I mean, she really came out strong. Just the Gobblers were able to get a few base runners on, but I mean, ever since after that first inning, she has just been strong. Even though there have been 3 runs scored by the Gobblers, she has just been so strong here in this game, and that one will roll for ball 1. So 1-1 now to Sienna Mills. The leadoff batter here for the Gobblers. This one is high for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike for Sienna Mills. Ritchie readies with the 2-1. This one's fouled back. So that'll even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. This one's popped up. And the second baseman calling for it. Grabs it for out number 1. She could decide which way to hold her glove to grab that one. And when she did, she holds on with both hands very smartly for out number 1. Now at the plate is Haley Shurek. She's 2 for 2 today, an RBI triple and a single on the day. First pitch, though, is ball 1. As she stands in the left-handed batter's box, here's the pitch from Ritchie. Oh, that one gets away from her a little bit for ball 2. Ritchie's done a really good job, though, even with runners on base, of just kind of coming back and just focusing on the at-bat that is, and not worrying about anything. This one right to Lainey Johnson for out number 2. And the Aitkin Gobblers are down to their final out of the game. Can the Jaguars finish it off? Here comes Kate Palm, and the Jags are 1 out away from a big-time win and ending their 3-game losing skid. This one popped up. Ritchie calls it. There it is! And that is the final out of the game, and the Jaguars come up with a huge win here in this one. Oh, the Jaguars are going to get the win here. By a score of 9-6. Eris Ritchie getting the final pop out And the Jags are victorious. Nine to 6, 12. So the Jaguars get the win here in this one, 9-6 over the Aitkin Gobblers, and improve to 5-7. So that will be it here for this one. I mean, if we got to pick kind of a player of the game, we might have two, honestly. I think we'd have to go with two because we have two that are really, honestly, are deserving of it, and the two that are deserving of it, one is Eris Ritchie, and the other is Adam Painovich with her batting here today. They just had such a phenomenal outing, and they deserve to be the players of the game. But what a game here for the Jags. It did not start out perfect for the Jags. In fact, they were down 5-0 going into the bottom of the third inning. They got the one run in the bottom of the third via a sac fly from Eris Ritchie. But then the top of the fourth, Gobblers made it a 6-1 lead. And it was like, okay, well, it doesn't really feel 6-1. It feels a lot closer than that. But then came the Jags in that fourth inning and scored 6 runs. They batted around, scored 6 runs, were on top 7-6, and never looked back. They went 1, 2, 3 in the fifth, but then came out in the sixth, got 2 RBIs, an RBI triple from Laney Johnson, and an RBI single from Eris Ritchie, and that helped them add on to their lead to get them to a 9-6 victory here over the Aitkin Gobblers. What a win here for the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars. That is so impressive here for the Jags of Hinckley-Finlayson. So that, again, will improve them now to 5-7, and that will knock Aitkin down in the conference standings. They're now going to be 8-1. That gives them a tie at the top with Bram. Actually, Bram is actually going to be the number 1 seed in the conference because they have the 9th win to 1 loss. Aitkin is now 8-1. So that really changes the look of the conference standings here, and that really helps out Bram in a big way and Rush City. But for Hinckley-Finlayson, they're now 5-4 in the conference. That pushes them into a tie for 4th with Ogilvie with this win. They are 5-7 now on the season. And for Hinckley-Finlayson coming up the rest of the week, they are right back at it tomorrow with a game against McGregor here at home. And then they will have one on Friday up in Isle against Mille Lacs. And then they will not play again until next Monday. So they've got a busy week, Thursday, Friday, then nothing until Monday when they host Carleton Renshaw. What a win here for the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars over the conference leading, the number 2 team in the section, the Aitkin Gobblers, 9-6. Eris Ritchie went all 7 innings here. And she pitched, and she gave up those 6 runs. And let's see, we'll count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, 8 hits. They gave up the 8 hits to 6 runs, but did get a few strikeouts. Let's see, count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strikeouts for her on the afternoon. Walked, let's see, 1, 2. Was that it? Yeah, she only walked 2, so an impressive stat line for Eris Ritchie. All 7 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts for her here this afternoon as the Jaguars get the victory over the Aitkin Gobblers, 9-6. to 6. I want to thank all of you who tuned in here this afternoon. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And, of course, if you don't tune in, well, I don't have a job to do, so I appreciate you keeping me with a job. Also, I want to thank all of our fine sponsors who sponsored this and every other broadcast that we do. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to come out here and broadcast any of these games. Again, you can stay tuned to local sports on our radio stations over on 95.5 FM with Adam Hefty at 7:30 and 8:30. Then over on 100.9 FM with Joshua Miron at 7:45 and 8:45 for your local sports updates. We'll talk this game, all the other games going on in our local listening area, plus regional and national sports as well. Also, you can stay tuned to our websites at WCMPradio.com and KBEK.com. Go to the sports tab, click on broadcast schedule. That'll show you all the games that we'll be covering that week with the links to them as well. You can also find interviews with players and coaches on there. You can find the interviews, as I mentioned, articles from games that we've been at, and more. Another way to stay tuned is our social medias. Our Facebook pages for both stations, our Instagrams for both stations, plus our Twitter or X at WCMP Radio for all things local sports, breaking local sports news, records being broken, LOIs being signed, all that and much more on our social media. So be sure to like, follow, subscribe to stay tuned to all things local sports. Also, another way to stay tuned is by subscribing to this YouTube page, because you will be notified. If you are subscribed to the YouTube, you'll get a notification every single time we go live with a local sporting event. All you have to do is click on the notification. It will take you right to the live video. The final here again on that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard. The Jays get the victory over the Gobblers, 9-6. Thanks so much for tuning in for Anthem Country WCMP. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Have a great rest of your day.